Imagine living in a country for decades, working, raising children, building a life, and suddenly being told your legal protection could end. That's the situation for thousands of Somalis families in the United States. But what exactly is TPS? Why is it ending? And what could happen next to Somali families living in America? Let's break it down. Watch these clips and then I'll come back with more comments.
Somalis may have to go back to Somalia. President Trump has proposed to end TPS status for Somalis. Most Somali immigrants in America are here on a temporary protective status. Basically, their home country, Somalia, is unsafe, so they're here on a work authorization. However, if that's to be ended, things can happen for the Somali community. First, the loss of legal status. Secondly, they're not able to work in the United States. And then most importantly, the risk of deportation. There's a huge Somali community in the Minnesota-St. Paul area. And of course, if the TPS status has ended, it will affect their community tremendously. What do y'all think?
When you wake up and find out your temporary status is gone.
Trump administration is ending the temporary protected status of Somali migrants. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem telling Fox News, temporary means temporary.
Yep, that's the definition.
Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirement for temporary protected status.
Which means you good, boo. You can go home.
Further, allowing Somali nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is contrary to our national interests. We are putting Americans first.
We got till March 17th to get the heck out, but I love how little mama says, oh, no. He doesn't have the power to do that. How people think that Trump can't make a call or two before he gets on social media. Yo, I'm just calling to make sure that I can remove this temporary status bullshit real quick before I post this. Yeah? Okay, cool. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, a bill was introduced like a week ago to get these MFs out.
Today, you introduced a bill that would terminate temporary protected status for people from Somalia.
Somalia and also 17 other countries that have people that are here illegally, that have no business being in this country at all, that want to see harm done to my fellow Americans. And what prompted this was the complete derelict of duty that we saw from Governor Walz and what happened in Minnesota. These people, according to my bill, will now have about 180 days to self-deport, and that goes with them and everyone else from the other 17 countries.
Duh. Like, why would you have a law that says you cannot be an illegal immigrant and your punishment is deportation, and then have a law that protects illegal immigrants from deportation? What Democrat wrote this bullshit?
We're one community. We're neighbors.
Yes.
We love each other.
Yes.
We support each other.
Yes.
We help each other.
Yes.
We unite for each other.
Yes.
Nothing can divide us.
We're dealing with families not being able to afford their groceries. We see our food shelves running out. Instead of that, he decided to also pit our communities against each other. And what we're saying is that that is a distraction. The reality is that people are struggling, our communities are struggling.
TPS does not impact that many Somalis, like you said. The numbers are small because the vast majority of Somali Minnesotans who are here are naturalized citizens or they are born here, right? And America is our home now. We are Somali Americans. We are proud, regardless of the negative stories and things that they push against our community.
I want our government to stand up for the immigrants, for documented and undocumented people, because the Constitution protects all of us. I think that Somalis in particular have been the scapegoat. People have kind of highlighted, a few bad apples, painting a broad picture of just how all Somalis are, and that's not the case at all. If you look around, we are business owners, we're doctors, we're teachers, we're lawyers, we're mothers. People just trying to make a better life for themselves.
Today it's Somalis, tomorrow it's your community. Yesterday it was the Latino community, Before that, it was the trans community, it was the LGBTQIA community. Who will it be tomorrow? White women?
TPS is a humanitarian program created by the US government. It allows people from countries experiencing war, natural disasters, or even extreme instability to temporarily live and work in the United States. Somalia was first designated for TPS in the 1991, and during the collapse of the Somali government and the start of a civil war. For decades, Somali nationals with TPS have been able to live legally in US, work with authorization, and avoid deportation while conditions remain safe back home. But TPS has always meant temporary. According to the US Department of Homeland Security, the current TPS designation of Somalia is set to expire in March 17, 2026. Government officials say that the decision is based on a review of conditions in Somalia and immigration policy priorities. However, critics argue that Somalia still faces major challenges including security concerns, humanitarian crises, and political instability. Because of these, immigration advocates believed the protection should continue. This debate has sparked legal challenges and policy discussions across the United States.
I don't know if y'all heard, but Trump just ended TPS for Somalis. They got till March 17th to figure it out, y'all. They could either self-deport, which Trump always encouraged because it comes with incentives. I could only imagine how much 1,000 USD could take you in Somalia. You could probably buy a couple of goats. I don't know what they buy out there, but yeah, I know spaghetti and bananas. That's an infinite spaghetti and banana glitch, you know. But 3,900, about 3,900 of them is impacted by this decision. Yeah, 2,500 with the status, that's going to end. And then there were like maybe 1,400 applications pending, which will be voided because it doesn't make sense to end TPS, but then think about the pending applications, right? Oh, this is the good news. According to the administration, conditions have improved in Somalia. So that's good for Somalia, of course, the country and the people. So conditions have improved. And Kristi Noem stated that temporary being the key word, temporary status. So yeah, they're going through with this March 17th. You either could self-deport and get all the incentives that come with self-deportation, or DHS will help you March 17th to figure it out for yourself.
Thousands of Somali nationals must leave the United States by 17th March, as the Trump administration officially end the temporarily protected status for them. According to reports, this decision under President Donald Trump brings a hard deadline for Somali migrants who were allowed to stay under temporary protected status. Donald Trump's administration says the protection is no longer necessary, arguing that conditions and enforcement priorities have changed. Under Donald Trump, the Department of Homeland Security is also continuing ICE operations, including in Minnesota, where investigations into large-scale fraud schemes are ongoing. Officials stress that immigration enforcement and fraud cases are being treated separately, but the timing has raised concern in affected communities. President Donald Trump has long pushed a tougher immigration approach, and this move fits squarely into that policy. For Somali families across the U.S., the message from Donald Trump's administration is clear. Clock is ticking, and March 17th is the deadline.
So, estimates suggest thousands of Somali immigrants currently rely on TPS protection. Many lived in the U.S. for years or even decades. Some have built businesses, purchased homes, raised children who are U.S. citizens. Communities with large Somali populations like Minnesota, Ohio, and Washington states could feel the impact the most. So, let's talk about if TPS ends in 2026. Several things could happen. First, some individuals may apply for other immigration options such as asylum, family-based green cards, employment-based visas. Second, There are already lawsuits and advocacy efforts trying to challenge this decision. And if courts intervene, the program could potentially be extended temporarily. And then Congress could pass legislation creating a long-term pathway for the TPS holders, although immigration reforms has historically been difficult to pass.
So I know everybody heard about Donald Trump sending Somalians home by March 17th. They all got to be gone. I'm mad as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie, man. These white people always bothering somebody, yo. I know I talk shit about the Somalians, but damn, yo. You know what I mean? Shit just make me want to buy whatever property y'all got for cheap. If y'all got any property, I'll buy that shit. Let me know. And I want to know, by the way, who get the keys to the Leering Center? I want it because I got a bunch of kids, and I know they kids got kids now. So I needed some way to bring all these badass kids. And is there any Congress positions for sale? I know a lot of y'all were senators in Minnesota and shit like that. So if y'all got any positions for sale, let me know, man. I'll see y'all later, man. I'll be down there to visit.
Hey, hola, hi, this is Randy Rambles with Rambling News, reporting from the kitchen table. The Trump administration is ending temporary protected status, or TPS, for Somalia, affecting one of the largest immigrant communities in Minnesota. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced the decision by linking to a Fox News article on X, saying Somali nationals with TPS would need to leave the U.S. by March 17th. According to the National Immigration Forum, about 705 Somalis are covered by TPS, though the broader Somali population in Minnesota is estimated at roughly 80,000. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said in a statement, quote, "Temporary means temporary." Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirement for temporary protected status, so she says. Further, allowing Somali nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is contrary to our national interests. We are putting Americans first. The Department of Homeland Security has not immediately responded to additional requests for comment. Legal experts note the decision is likely to face court challenges. In previous cases, judges found the Trump administration failed to properly study conditions in countries receiving TPS or failed to publish reasoning in the Federal Register before ending protections. The decision comes amid ongoing immigration enforcement in Minnesota, including the death of Renee Good, who was killed by an immigration officer just last week. Minneapolis and state officials sued the administration Monday, saying the deployment of roughly 2,000 immigration officers created a public safety threat and may have been done out of spite against local Democratic leadership. TPS was originally granted to Somalis in 1991 following years of civil war, and many arrived in the U.S. as refugees throughout the 1990s. The community has been under federal scrutiny in part due to the pandemic-era fraud schemes involving hundreds of millions of dollars in federally funded programs. Viral videos and reports of alleged fraud at Somali-run daycare centers have also drawn attention. DHS has said it does not plan to pause operations in the state following Good's death, and Secretary Noem has described the incident as an act of domestic terrorism. The administration has deployed approximately 2,000 immigration agents in what it is called its largest operation ever. It is confirmed that TPS for Somalia is set to end on March 17th, and legal challenges are ongoing. What remains unclear is how courts will rule or whether the timeline will be affected. This story is still developing and ongoing. This is Randy Ramble, Rambling News. Until next time.
So, for Somali families in the United States, this situation is about more than immigration policy. It affects real lives. Parents worry about their children, workers worry about losing their jobs, communities worry about what future will look like. And while the final outcome remains uncertain, the conversation around TPS highlights a higher national debate about immigration, humanitarian protection, and long-term solutions. So for now, TPS is scheduled to end in March 17, 2026, but legal battles and political decisions could still influence what happens next. This is a developing issue and many families are watching closely. What do you think should happen next? Let me know in the comments section below, and kindly remember to keep it respectful. And if you want more clear explanations about global news and immigration policy, subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.